All right, step 12, the brain. The brain, the brain, the brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. So every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. Napoleon Hill didn't go into too much details. Obviously, he wasn't a doctor, but we all know, your mind is located. Well, we don't really know where the mind is located, but all those thoughts happen in the brain, right? You can measure those thoughts, and every thought is energy, right? You can get an MRI, you can get all these brain scan machinery that they have nowadays, and it's proven that your thoughts are real. They are real. It's not just an old wives' say. People always say thoughts are real things, but they actually are. Remember, everything in the universe, thoughts included, is energy or matter. And we all know that matter is, at the end of the day, also made up of energy. So your thoughts as well are actual energy, and it has its own frequency. So when you are thinking your thoughts of desire and you put a belief and faith behind that, and you write it down and you affirm it to yourself, and you really basically make your brain think as if you've already have it, that sets your entire mind, that sets your brain, sets your whole body in a different frequency. It really changes your attitude. Now, there's so much research going on, so much interesting research going on in the subject of the brain. One of the things we know is that we really still haven't really untapped its full potential. We don't really know that much of the brain yet. We only really are in the kindergarten stage. There is so much about the brain that is so amazing. Such a complex organism, such a complex organ, if not the most complex organ in the human body, that we still are just really scratching the surface. There's so much amazing potential that we really are not aware of what the power of the human brain is capable of. So now we're going into the subconscious mind. If you remember from the section, remember, subconscious mind is the sending station of the brain. As it says here, the brain is really a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. And the subconscious mind is the part of the brain or the mind, which is the sending part, through which vibrations of thought are broadcast, which is why it's really important to be thinking positive thoughts. Be thinking about your goal, your desires through affirmation. And through affirmation, we convince ourselves, we tie it with emotion, and we really believe in that. That sends out the message of our thoughts, our ideas, our whatever it is, our desires. It sends it out into the universe, into everywhere around us. And the creative imagination is the receiving set through which vibration of thought are picked up. Now, all those geniuses, all those real masterpieces at their craft, whether they're artists or writers or musicians, all of them utilize heavily the creative imagination, where they pick up things that they really had no experience, they've never heard of before. But when they are writing a song, they have that goal in there, they're sending out that signal through frequency in their brain, from their brain, and then they get into their creative mind, creative imagination, and then a lot of them meditate, a lot of them take time, they have their routine, and they just open themselves up, and they receive ideas, they receive thoughts, they receive feelings that they had ever had experience with before, just really out of nowhere, or their muse, as a lot of people call it, or the universe speaks of. There's a lot of different things that we call it: God, universe, the muse, whatever it is, but there is an actual things, vibrations that you pick up, thoughts of somewhere from. We don't really know where yet. I guess maybe in the future we'll actually get into scientific studies on where all of this is coming from and how it's all connected, which is really exciting. And to be honest, I'm interested in this myself. I go on YouTube quite often, try to dig up a lot of information or talks from well-known neurologists or psychiatrists, and people are really into studying. So people know that your brain is capable of so much more than just the five senses, just the things that we use it for on a daily basis. There's a huge area that we have yet to discover. It's things that aren't explained yet. Things that, for example, like the sixth sense, which is actually the next step of 13 principles. There's so many things, right? The phenomenon that we don't really understand. Intuition, where's it all coming from? But the brain as an organ, it really is a really spectacular machine that we have, that every single person has, that every person who has a brain has the capability of thought. And if you have the capability of thought, then remember, the quote that we read earlier from Napoleon Hill. Whatsoever the mind of man can conceive, it can achieve. Now, if you can believe that, if you know that, if you yourself can convince you, if you can believe it really and know that it is true, I do. And I am staking my entire life and career on this concept. And I've actually successfully used it to get up and build a career in the corporate world to be highly successful in that field. And now I'm using these exact same principles, but I'm really taking it up a notch. Instead of targeting the expected aspect of getting a good job, even though if I have no right to get a job because I have no college education, I have no real formal education either. But I use these concepts to attain a measure of success in the corporate world. I build up to be a manager. I have a lot of accomplishments that most people are amazed by in the corporate world. But now I'm going to use these tools, use these steps, and target it towards what I really desire, which is to help people and organizations find and connect to purpose and understand, specifically for individuals, that you can achieve anything you want. You can find purpose. You can find meaning in life. You can achieve whatever dream, whatever you desire, if you follow these steps. And if everyone in the world is living a life of purpose, is living the life they want, if they can do what they love full time, imagine the world will be a much better place. Isn't that amazing? Just that thought. And that's what drives me. And that's why I'm taking these principles and jumping off the deep end in a way. I'm quitting my job and I am going out there to become a full-time professional coach, and specifically on this concept of this ability where anyone, if they truly believe and they follow these steps 110%, they go all in, they can achieve whatever it is they want. There are no limits. Unleashing people's potential is my purpose. And that's what I love doing. And that's why I'm doing this course. So that is a bit about the brain. Again, it's such a fascinating topic that I don't really know much about, but I am studying upon it every single day. And I suggest you do too. There's many great talks on TEDx, on YouTube, on the internet. It's just a fascinating thing because we have no idea of how capable the human brain is yet. We've only scratched the surface. And same as your life, you're only scratching the surface. There's so much that you are capable of doing that you are able to do if you just believe it and put that into action and utilize these steps as a roadmap to get to the point where you want, where you can really unleash your full potential. So that's it. Step 12, the brain. And moving on, we're going to go to the last and final step, the 13th step. And here it goes.